Hello everyone, Andy here at Funny Little Boxes HQ, checking in for a beer and a chat with you. Cheers! I hope you're all well. It's been a long time. I'm ever so glad to see you again, to be back. Sorry it's been such a while. There's lots to talk about. There's been tons going on. I got my moustache trimmed, so slightly less beer foam in it this time, although has led to the wife describing me as looking sinister. That's nice, isn't it? You know, could have lived with her saying like a twat. You know, I'm used to being told that I look like a twat, but you know, no, sinister. Lovely, thank you, darling. Right, anyway, so things to talk about, things to say, things to do. So let's have a look at what we've had come into the shop. So first of all, this little fella, another one of these magic little plastic boxes from Dan Electro. This is the Surf and Turf compressor. This is a dead simple little box, but it's extremely effective. It does its job very well indeed. If, like me, you don't really understand what a compressor does, this is perfect, because you plug this in, you only have two knobs to play with, you make your sound better, and you just leave it on all the time. And like, for me, that's the ideal compressor. I don't plug a compressor in because I want compression, because I don't really understand it. I know it's something to do with keeping all your volume even and whatnot, but if I'm plugging into a compressor, what I want is something that makes everything sound better. Now, I've had a few through the shop. The DoD milk box, that was lovely. The Electro Harmonics White Finger, that was outstanding. The only thing is, awful lot of controls on there, awful lot of tweaking to be done, which is lovely. I'm quite happy to sit down and have a little play around. But ultimately, if I was going to choose out of the three of these, out of them, just for sheer ease of use, I'd go for that. Also, it's really small and it looks really cool. It looks really pretty on the Marcus Deluxe vert boards. So that's a lovely little thing that's come in. That's a real sort of hidden gem of the Dan Electro food series. You don't see many of these floating about, but fantastic. Another thing is we've had this come in, the Voodoo Lab Sparkle Drive. Now this is lovely. So these are really well known. These aren't underground or hidden gems or anything. These are fantastic, and Voodoo Lab in general hold quite a special place in my heart. I remember when I started playing guitar in the early 2000s, the first, I can't remember if it was Total Guitar, I think it was Total Guitar, the first Total Guitar magazine I bought. I mean, those things, they cost like a £5. Doesn't sound much, but back then that was like quarter of my weekly paper round money. So that was a big investment, and I read that thing cover to cover multiple times, and I just remember on the back cover was an advert for Voodoo Lab pedals, and they just looked so cool, and they just had everything that appealed to my teenage brain. Voodoo, names like Super Fuzz, Sparkle Drive, Proctavia. I know I'm sounding like a complete wanker, but I am a bit really. So, I've just thought these were really cool before I even got my hands on one. I've had a few Voodoo Lab things through the shop. This is a really great one. This is probably one of their probably their best known pedal. They do seem these days to be known primarily for power supplies, which are brilliant, but they make really, ultimately power supply doesn't make cool sounds. But this does, and this is like a 808 Tube Screamer, but it's better because it gives you the clean control, which means you can dial back in your guitar's own signal and actually, add the sparkle to your drive, or just to your clean tone. You could just use it as a tone shaper, or if you whack the gain off and whack the clean all the way up, you can just have a full-on clean boost if that's what you want. So that's a really great pedal. Like I said, these hold a special little place in my heart. So, you know, come check these out. They're both really great. Sorry, I forgot to cover the beer today. So I'm drinking a Moongazer Nibbler Norfolk Ruby Ale. They say ruby. I mean, it looks pretty fucking brown to me. But it tastes very nice. You know, and so there's no wankers glasses today. It's dad beer. So it's in my cheesy Father's Day glass. So dad beer in a dad glass. So again, cheers. Do comment and tell me what you're drinking as well. You know, I don't know if any of you have headed down to the pub yet. I haven't. I don't really want to go to the pub when I have to book a table and I have to have a time slot and I have to be worried about how long I'm there and I have to keep my kids on a leash and I'll get shouted at if they try and run away. And you know, I'll go back to the pub when it's the pub again. You know, I'm quite happy to stay safe, stay home, do my drinking here with you lot. So, what else? Oh yeah, got my lovely t-shirt from Noisy Hammer, lovely Norwich-based business. They make fantastic custom guitar cabinets in all shapes and sizes. They're absolutely lovely. Ryan, the main man there, spent a bit of time with him recently. He was down at his workshop today actually. He's a proper gent, doesn't mind me turning up with my 2 tow rag children in tow, mucking around in his workshop. I'm sure most craftsmen would flip their lid, but he's absolutely fine with it. He's a great guy. You know, the prices for what he offers are fantastic really, so go support them. They're great. You know, even if it's just buying one of his t-shirts just to show a bit of support. He's got some lovely tie-dye versions. I look like enough of a hippie twat without wearing fucking tie-dye, so I'll stick to this one. But he's great. They're great. He's taken one of the ray gun pedals off me. I'm going to talk more about ray gun in a future chat. I've got something else to cover first. So, without further ado, I'm going to stop waffling and I'm going to move on to the much fabled Affordboard. So, this is my first, if you like, custom pedalboard build, and I've kind of done it, you know, I'm not kidding anyone, it's not been commissioned by anyone other than myself. You know, I kind of commissioned myself, gave myself my own brief around this, and this was kind of my response to the eye-watering prices of boards I see on all kinds of pedal nerd forums and things, and just kind of, if nothing, I dropped that. Whoopsie doopsie, that won't look professional. Oh well, whoever said I was professional. Okay, so the idea of this is purely to cover all the bases you need really in a versatile, affordable way, which sounds great, gives you loads of options for what you're doing, and basically gives you everything you need. So you get the board, you get solderless patch cables from the lovely guys at Pedal Patch UK. The board is from the lovely George at GPA Pedalboards. I've shouted him out before, but can't sort of praise him enough for both his craftsmanship and also helping me out with getting this kick started. You get a power supply, which in this case is a Diego, I'm not quite sure how you say it because it's a weird spelling, power station. So this does involve the use of daisy chaining. Lots of people get very, very, very upset about this. I don't think you need to. Okay, it's fine if you really want to. You know, if you were to buy it, you could change the power supply if you really wanted to, but there's really no need. You've got 4 pedals running off something that is capable of producing a shit ton of current. You know, It's fine. Don't panic. Don't panic. It's fine. Okay? It's fine. It's just a fucking daisy chain. It's all right. No need to get excited about these things. Anyway, so you get 4 pedals. So you've got all your bases covered. Now, I say you get 4 pedals. Really, this is 3 pedals in one, yeah? This gives you a crunch circuit, a drive circuit, and a fuzz circuit, and you get a foot switch for it. So this is 3 pedals in one. This is your drive needs completely covered. I use one of these on my own personal board. You know, I like to use the crunch circuit. I don't really get the, people talk about the classic crunch sound. That's not really a thing for me. I don't really like that. I find that this works nicely. I use this just as a clean tone shaper. This gives it will produce just the tiniest little bit of hair, but I mean, it's not a crunch sound. I use it to get a nice clean sound. I then have a drive and a fuzz. But there are so many different things you can do with it. All the switches you can flick. It's fantastic. That's 3 pedals in one. Yeah, it's not just 4 pedals, because you've got 3 pedals in one here. Your modulation section, I kind of agonised over what was the most versatile way of covering this, and kind of finding without managing to get hold of a multi-effects pedal, which I very nearly did at a very good price, but it just wasn't quite there. In order, it was, could have still got it for a good price, but it would have driven up the cost on this, to a point. I'm trying to prove a point with this, so the fact to do all this and keep it below 400 quid was the thing. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I'd used that pedal. So I went for a flanger, in this case the TC Electronic Vortex, and this is great. I mean, I think flange is a good mid-ground modulation. You can do a lot of things with it, because you can get your chorusy sounds, you can have very subtle sounds, you can have very extreme sounds, you can do a lot of things. This one's got a lot of controls on it, so it gives you a lot of tone shaping options, from really subtle sparkle swells to just full-on extreme madness. You get 2 different flanging modes, with a classic and a tape mode, and you get the tone print technology, so you can literally beam in artist designed sounds from your mobile phone through the pickup of your guitar straight into here. So versatile, yeah, definitely. Definitely. This has got you covered. Reverb. Now my friend Callum, who's also, he was a great seller, sells some excellent gear. You should go check out his shop on Reverb. I always forget, I think it's CWJ pedals, CWJ music, I think. I always get the initials wrong, so I've probably told you wrong there. My apologies to Callum and you if I fucked that up. Anyway, he tells me I've put the reverb and delay the wrong way around. These things are all personal taste. For me, this is the one sort of thing I will chop and change on my own board, that I'll move around. At the minute, I'm going reverb before delay. So that's what you've got here. At the end of the day, it's only fucking Velcro. If you were to buy this and, you wanted your delay before your reverb, it wouldn't be difficult. These things aren't glued down, fucking cemented in place. Lift it up. It'll be fine. Okay. But this is a really brilliant delay, and it gives you 4 different options. It gives you some classic options in the form of spring, hall and room, and then you get the flurb setting, which is just a bit mental. It's like a modulated, whacked out reverb, which is really cool. Which you could use if you wanted to. You might not like that kind of thing. You might want something classic, in which case you're covered. It's fine. And then for a delay option, I did put up a thing about what are people's preferences, analog, digital, and of course then people came to me, analog voice, digital pedals, tape delay, and to be honest, if I was going to put, probably that tape sounding delay is probably like, my absolute preference, but it doesn't do so well on the long ones, and so I use a digital one. But here I've gone for an analog one, and because lots of people like analog delays, analog delay is really cool. And this I really like because this has, as I've said before, I'm really cack-footed. I'm not so good with tapping in tap tempos so much, you know, and I like the fact that I can set a short delay, a long delay, and flip between them with the little foot switch here. I think that's a really cool feature. You don't see it in a lot of pedals, certainly not a lot of affordable ones. So that's why this is on here. The aim of the game here was affordability and versatility. And, you know, I think it's hard to argue this thing fucking nails that brief, really. Have to, again, a big thank you to Callum, who kind of advised on and basically checked that he agreed that it was affordable, and to the Budget Pedal chap on Instagram. Go check him out. He does a lot of cool videos, got a lot of cool stuff there, but he also sort of consulted, if you like. Sorry there was no consultation fee, guys. Not quite at that level yet. But so thank you to those guys for the help. So really now, I suppose the thing is just to kind of plug it in and just play some sounds. So if you excuse me while I faff about. Beer down, don't want to spill that, that'd be a disaster. We'll put it on the floor. Doesn't seem right doing it with the fingers, so I'll do it with my feet. Sorry, I'm blabbering away. I'm aware of that. Right, plug you in there. You in there. Job's a good one. Okay, right, it's Saturday Straturday, so I've got my horrible Super Strat out, which looks a lot better than it plays, although it does look, this kind of makes it look shit. So the reason for this is that this humbucker, this is actually an excellent humbucker from Iron Gear, which are really cheap but punch well above their weight, fantastic. But this coil splits, and the push-pulley thing here, the catch for when it's engaged is gone. So it just constantly pops up, which means it's in single coil mode, and that is shit. Sounds garbage, so that's something to be avoided. So I have to tape it down like fuck to stop that happening. But there we go, yeah. Anyway, it looks a lot better than it sounds. Anyway. That is our clean tone. Oh no, it's not actually, the delay pedals come on. That's our clean tone. Of just the guitar into the amp. So I'm just gonna engage crunch circuit on the Avalanche. So I've got it on the spring reverb. I'm going to flip it on like whole. And then let's put the flanger on. To the delay onto time 1. note there. that. Hopefully that's a bit of a demo of the fact that you can get loads of different sounds out of this thing. Apologies for the playing. I'm not really a very good guitarist. I don't rehearse anything I'm going to play, so it all just kind of wanders around. So sorry if that was shite, but you know, there you go. There's what it can do. £396 for all of that. Bargain, really. I think really, I mean, I've rambled on for ages. This is the longest chat we've ever done, but you know, it's been a while, so why not? I think really that's probably time to say ta-ta. So I'll just do one last toast to your very good health and say cheers till next beers. Cheers. Bye.